Good morning, friends, family, and others. We are the BCM podcast, and we are here for another week of the BCM podcast. Just kidding. I am on the mend. How are you guys doing? Brad, Michael, my co-host of the BCM podcasts.
Doing great.
Oh,
Real good. Who are you saying good morning to? It's afternoon.
it's 3:37 during the day.
This is true. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
You guys
have to excuse our host. He had a little bit of the vid.
Yeah,
and he's recovering.
Nice. I think it was the first time I've had COVID since COVID became a thing. I might have had it, but if I did, it wasn't this bad. But I think it was the first time, and it really took me out. And I got Paxlovid, and it is it works, so I'm not going to say it's a horrible medication, but it makes your mouth taste terrible.
What does it taste like?
Like, you know how if you get a lot of change in a container and there's that smell, it's like your mouth tastes like that.
Exactly. Know that.
It's and I Googled it, and they were like, it's called Paxlovid mouth. And I was like, it's disgusting. Okay. What kind of medicine does this? And so I still have it because I still have 2 days of Paxlovid left. But, by Saturday, I will no longer have Paxlovid mouth.
Too bad that ivermectin law that the legislature passed wasn't enacted by now.
Oh, is it not enacted by now? Was it not the first?
I don't think it was an immediate enactment.
I thought everything in the special session is immediate.
I guess we should find out.
Huh?
I said, I guess we should find out.
I got mono recently because I'm a fucking player.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's the kissing disease because I'm out there just fucking being a player. I don't get lame ass COVID. A fucking loser. I get
Brad being a player.
Next to the special session, bills generally take effect 90 days after the session ends, unless the bill specifies an earlier or later effective date.
No, so we can't get our worms out until like December.
Well, I think you can still buy it from a feed store. You just can't get it like the human.
I don't know if I can handle the horse strength.
Water it down.
Add a little water to it. Okay.
Take
all right.
Your medical advice here first, folks. It's Charles Blain. Dr. Charles Blain is in session.
Well, actually, I should have started with this as a topic because I was laying there on the couch and I texted someone and they were like, "Go get ivermectin," and I was like, "Well, can I?" And they were like, "Not yet." I was like, "Well, okay," but then I started to think, can the legislature just make any prescription medication over the counter?
We talked about this last week. Why don't they make penicillin over the counter?
No. We talked about making medications over the counter, like the way that you do that. But can the legislature just make any medication over the counter?
That's a great question.
I mean, if they just did it with ivermectin, I don't know why they wouldn't be able to do it with everything else. But
that's what I would think too. But then why? Like, I'm just curious why they haven't. Like, it's interesting. So
that's what I was asking last week. Why haven't they done that with more medications? I mean, they just set the rules.
Yeah. Well, when you said they, I thought you were talking about like the FDA or who,
Fucking RFK Jr. No, that guy's a lame duck.
What would be the first thing you take off the prescription list and add to the over the counter?
Amoxicillin.
Oxycontin?
You got
amoxicillin.
Charles got some infections he needs to clear up.
Amoxicillin for sure. What would you guys be?
Oh my god.
Medications.
Yeah, I don't even. Fuck that.
It was a trick question, I guess.
MDMA.
You can't even get that prescription.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
You get cocaine as a prescription.
What? Where?
At the pharmacy through your doctor.
You can get Oxycontin. It's not cocaine.
I actually don't know if cocaine. I think you can, but it's like really,
I thought they were doing FDA trials on MDMA.
Cocaine. I think they do cocaine eye drops for eye surgeries because it's a painkiller.
I've never heard of this.
I might be making it up, but I'm going to look it up.
Michael, I think you are right about the MDMA because I think they're also doing that for ketamine too, for depression, treatment-resistant depression. Okay, so first topic I want to go over is it is September 4th. Yes, September 4th. Yes. September 1st, 800 plus, I think, bills took effect in the state of Texas. Curious, you guys, like, dislike, love, hate? What are you excited about becoming law? Or
Co-
maybe going away? I mean, the legislature doesn't really make many things go away, but if there
No,
was
I
anything
don't.
they did.
Cocaine hydrochloride is available for surgeries as a topical analgesic, for instance, in nasal surgeries, which is a little bit on the nose for cocaine.
Did you say anal?
Mm-hmm. Sure did. For anal surgeries. What's my favorite law that was passed, Charles? Is that your question?
That wasn't really the question, but sure, go ahead.
What was your question? I'm sorry. I was looking up cocaine, and is it available for as a prescription?
It was out of the 800 bills that became law or did not, which is your most or least favorite, or what are you happy that they got rid of, if they got rid of anything?
I mean, there's too many. 800 is a lot of laws to pass.
So I said pick one.
Oh, God. I need some help from ChatGPT or somebody to tell me what my favorite one is, because I'm a real fucking, I don't like to use my brain. I mean, I don't know, man. Whatever it is that makes that like is less laws, like whatever law that they made less laws is great. So maybe ivermectin. Like, I'm not even a big fan of ivermectin. I mean, I guess it's cool. I'm glad that it's legal now. Will I go take it? I absolutely will. I'm going to get rid of my worms, and I'm going to be a health monster. But that's the only way I think of that's like, okay, truly there's more freedom now.
Dude, you sit down and interview state legislators all day long.
All day.
All day, every day. Nothing?
What do you mean?
I'll let you, nothing that they pass that you're like,
I mean, yeah, there's some cool stuff, but we're on the BCM podcast here, man. So, like, yeah, is it cool that Tan Parker passed legislation about human trafficking, allowing human trafficking victims to come forward without legal recourse against them and say, hey, I was forced into prostitution, and they can't be charged with prostitution? Yeah, I think that's cool. That's a good move by Tan Parker. Good job, Senator Parker. Truly, that's great. Is school choice good? Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction, but it's going to get co-opted and turned into bullshit real fast. So, I mean,
Chancellor of Texas Tech's Brandon Creighton. Okay, those are good ones.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it took us that long to get to you to say that. They actually were good ones anyway. So, like, I don't deserve.
Ivermectin's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. It's less barrier to a product in case you get, worms or
if you
river blindness or any of the ailments that it treats, COVID.
I never heard of that.
My favorite's the Ibogaine study. I know it's government spending money, but let's go.
Do tell. I heard a little bit about this and read a little bit about this, but do tell.
They funded, I can't remember the amount, but they're funding a study on the impact of Ibogaine treatment on PTSD for veterans, which I think is awesome. Anything we can do to get them off these antidepressants, SSRIs, is good.
And what is Ibogaine?
It's a psychedelic.
Yeah,
it's a psychedelic. Yeah,
it's a psychedelic plant medicine, brother.
I got it. Okay, it's a psychoactive alkaloid extracted from the bark and roots of the Tabernacle iboga tree of Africa. Oh, so it's like,
the Tabernacle?
Tabernacle.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a ayahuasca, if we will.
Yeah, I don't think that the active ingredient in it is DMT, but yes, kind of the same.
Very cool.
So we're going to get a study of Ibogaine done by the state of Texas, and what are the chances that anything cool is going to happen from it?
Well, at least it'll be data.
Yeah, it's just more data pointing in the same direction that it's already pointing.
You think the state of Texas is going to make Ibogaine, you think they're going to do anything? Like, they're going to make it available by prescription in Texas? You think so?
Eventually.
I mean, I think we're going to have to see like some major like civilizational shifts, some cultural shifts. Like, the United States is going to have to, like, there's going to have to be, like, the United States balkanizes before stuff like that happens.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't think, I love to think that stuff like that is going to be legal one day. I mean, legal in the sense of, you can go to your therapist and do like an MDMA assisted therapy or whatever, right? I think that that's a cool idea and beneficial to some people. I'm not necessarily promoting, MDMA at the gas station across the street from the elementary school, though I know Michael wants that. I just don't. I just don't think that the pharmaceutical companies are going to allow stuff like this to really take hold and flourish until the system falls completely and like a new system rises.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're probably a long way from it being legalized, but I think the fact that Texas is investing, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like tens of millions, maybe $100 million or something dollars into into looking into it. That's, I mean, it says a lot, but it also doesn't really, because at the same session we're trying to restrict THC, but it still says a lot that they're willing to invest so much money in something like that. No.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the gravity of the problem that they're trying to address, which is that veterans are suffering from some veterans are suffering from serious mental health issues, and what they're currently being given by those pharmaceutical companies is not helping. And so the fact that conservative Texas will go look at a psychedelic as an option, I think is a good step in the right direction. And all the evidence that's out there already shows that it can help. So we're just going to have more evidence this time funded by the state of Texas that says this can help.
Yeah, but we just watched the state of major players in the state of Texas try to ban hemp-derived THC, regardless of what veterans said. Who cares what they said? And it's legal.
How'd that go?
Well, I mean, how is it going to go? What's going to happen next? Yeah, it failed, but by the skin of its teeth.
Did it?
Yeah, it's dead.
No,
Charles,
I know. I'm saying, was it by the skin of its teeth? Because I don't think there's a skin of its teeth. It didn't even get a vote in the House.
I mean, it went to the governor's desk, and he took like weeks to veto it, and then it got put on 2 different special sessions, and there was huge fights about it. I mean, I think it's hard to argue that it wasn't by the skin of its teeth.
I think it's easy to argue it's by the skin of its teeth, because when you took it out of the context of being what hit other bills hinge on, like all these other priorities everybody had, so they had to vote for it because they didn't want the Senate to kill their bill, and you remove it out of that context and put it in a context of its own, it didn't even get a full floor vote.
Sure. And so what's going to happen next? Are they going to do that again in the 90th? I would imagine that Dan Patrick's not going to go, quietly into the dark night. I think he's probably maybe this was all just a big show for Dan Patrick, his big exit. I'm going to get hemp-derived THC banned in Texas as my one last hurrah. What's his motivation for doing that? I don't know. We can all guess, but it's going to keep going. And so we're going to be right back in the same, if that's not true, it's going to be right back in the same position in the 90th for the regular session. And here we go again, bunch of horse trading, and we're going to have the same fucking fight right again. And so, yeah, it's by the skin of its teeth.
I don't disagree that that he's probably gonna, keep this issue top of mind. But I think the only thing that gets more steam in the interim, assuming there's not another special session called just for this issue, which I mean, I don't think there will be. But in the interim, I don't think his side of this issue gains more power. I think, if anything, that the hemp folks amass more power.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know who's. It just died. I don't know that anybody. Did someone win?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just didn't get a vote. I get that. I mean, I understand that it's considered a win, but what did it take? How close were they to not winning? Like it just didn't get a vote. All right. So I think if you truly won, then it would have been not voted upon in the first place in the regular session, and there wouldn't be any risk of it coming up again in the 90th. That's what I would see as a win.
I think if you took a straw poll of House members that was a secret ballot and didn't have implications for their other legislation that Charles has pointed out, I think it's overwhelming defeat in the House of a THC ban.
Yeah, okay, that's great, but that's
okay.
It doesn't really matter if we get back to the same position and they're talking about banning it again, and they have other priority legislation they want to pass because their district needs a new concrete plant or something.
But I think if you look at it this way, right? I don't know what the breakdown was in the House on the first vote, but say 150 members, half of it 75. So say 76. Just say 76 is what voted.
76.
Is what voted to pass it. Huh?
It was more, but
okay. So, but either way, it went from whatever that number was to 31 or not even, I don't even know if every senator voted for it. Like, right. So like the number of people who were willing to vote for it and put their name on the line significantly dropped. I just don't see it being having such staying power unless suddenly a bunch of kids start dying from THC or THC derived stuff, which, I mean, I don't know.
No, I agree with Charles. I don't think he can file it again if he's back. But it won't have the momentum it had this session.
Strike while the iron's hot, or strike while the train's rolling.
I mean, I think we're gonna have more fights about it. But all right.
Yeah, but if Dan Patrick doesn't come in a reasonable, like, okay, let's age gate it and not have it close to schools and like that, it's not gonna. If it's a full ban again, that's not gonna happen.
Okay. I still don't think that it's like an overwhelming win, but that's fine. Well, I think they got past it with the skin of their by the skin of their teeth. I think they barely made it. I mean, we're not talking about popularity. We're not talking about what the House members think secretly. We're talking about politically what happened.
Politically, it didn't even get a vote in the House.
It made it all the way to the second special session. There was huge fights about this, and it almost got passed in the regular session. It only got vetoed, and that's it. I'm saying politically, I don't think that it was some sort of big win by the hemp industry.
To be fair, the banning did not make it to the special session. Regulating did. That's what Abbott put on the call, which was very different, which is why he struck down the ban, because he said you can regulate it. So, like, technically, the issue didn't even make it out of the regular session. And then the revised issue didn't even get a full floor vote. Didn't even get a floor vote.
It's all thanks to the Democrats breaking quorum.
All right. Our next topic. I'm curious what you guys think about if you saw this and what you think about it. Trump's move to ban collective bargaining within a number of departments within the federal government. I think the list that I'm looking at right now from his executive order is the Department of Defense, Department of Veterans Affairs, NSF, National Science Foundation, Coast Guard, Border Security, Homeland Security, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's like a number of them. And apparently it affects about 1 million federal employees, which, I mean, I know there's more than 1 million federal employees, but that's crazy. There's 1 million federal employees that it affects. And we're just talking about a portion of them. But yeah, what do you guys think? I think I know what Michael thinks, but what do you think, Brad?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, I think I know what Michael thinks, but what do you think, Brad?
I hope they all quit and are not replaced. That's what I think.
Replaced?
Huh?
Or not replaced?
Yeah, I hope they all quit and there's no scabs that replace them from the picket line. I hope they all just quit and the federal government permanently shrinks and the payroll goes down by 1 million employees. That's what I think about it. And if what it takes is removing their rights to collectively bargain, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, right. You want everybody who's affected by this to quit, or everybody who's upset by it?
Oh, I mean, all of them, every single one, 1 million of them. But actually, let's make it two. I mean, even the ones that aren't affected by it and don't care, let's fire them too. Just because they might collectively bargain.
Did he apply it to the DOJ?
He did apply it to the DOJ.
Interesting.
But here's the last line, which kills me because this is what Texas does too all the time. Which, well, not all the time because we've never done anything regarding union dues. But the last line is, police and firefighters will continue to collectively bargain.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, he wasn't that would the only law enforcement. This isn't to govern like the local PDs. Right? Yeah, it's just the federal agencies. And yeah, so Texas would have to be the ones to legislate that. They have tried at many different stages and failed to pass anything. I mean, the bill this session went to State Affairs, had the same fate as taxpayer-funded lobbying, got sent over to State Affairs despite a valiant effort to get it to a different committee where it just went to die. And so I think part of the issue is there's just not a lot of people screaming about this in Texas. I think the perception is we're a right-to-work state, so we don't have unions. Mm-hmm. But you have unions, public sector unions, who are putting up lots of money for the Democrats. And so will it ever happen? I don't know.
Did the Texas effort exempt police and fire too?
Not as originally filed, but in order to pass out of the House, it would have probably have had to, or even the Senate. You know, some of those firefighter unions go stomping on Paul Betancourt's door, like firefighters getting exempted out of that. You know that.
They're a convincing group. They convince them every single time, apparently, and I hate it. Even when it comes to like even back in the day when it was the union dues bills and it was just focused on teachers, the fire unions and the police union would still come up and like our brothers in
arms,
whatever you want to call them. Yeah, and it's just like, come on. Just a little win in the state of Texas would be nice. I'm hoping that this move, though, breathes some new life and maybe a backbone into Texas Republicans to start moving on some union dues restrictions or anything else under the sun, but I don't believe they will. Oh, give me a second.
Yeah, well, we got to probably wait till 2027 to try it again, and we'll see. But there's other states around the country that are acting on this as we speak, so maybe Texas can't. Well, maybe Texas will be like the 40th state to do it.
I mean, isn't it all just about? I mean, it's just. I mean, these are huge voting blocks, and they have a lot of political power. And Donald Trump's not up for re-election, so he can pull shit like this. I mean, maybe JD Vance has to go in and clean up the mess, or Peter Thiel when he, ascends humanity and becomes a techno god. But Texas is never going to do this. The teachers association and the police associations and the fire, they're all they're going to fight it tooth and nail,
as they always do. I'm going to take us on a segue right now. Did you see the Ehud Barak emails were leaked? And in the emails was Ehud Barak and Jeffrey Epstein setting up a meeting on the quote on the island with Peter Thiel.
What? Who's Ehud Barak?
Yeah,
is that
former Prime Minister of Israel?
Oh, what?
You haven't seen this? No. Yeah, a hacker group got his emails, about 100,000 of them. 90 something of them are with Jeffrey Epstein, and one of the ones that stuck out was them trying to coordinate a meeting, quote, on the island, and also Ehud Barak was trying to figure out how to do it without his security detail coming along with him, with Peter Thiel.
I'm just blown away that a major political official in Israel would have any involvement with Jeffrey Epstein at all. That is surprising, and I might have to rest on this one just for sleep on it to really digest it. It's so it's shaking me to my core. Was this perhaps were they flying in hot dogs?
Hot dogs and pizza.
When did Peter Thiel get pulled into all this stuff? Has he always been involved? His name has it always been involved in all this?
Well, I'd have to go back and look at the dates, but it was in the early 2010s, I think, when these emails were going back and forth.
No. I mean, is this the first instance of Peter Thiel's name being involved in all of this, or has he been known or suspected to have been involved in all this stuff?
I've heard it before, but this was the first big, I think, connector. At real evidence that they were connected.
Jeffrey Epstein was also very interested in what's it called, in the
transhumanism.
Transhumanism, that's the word. Super interested in transhumanism, and got to get the adrenochrome to fuel the battery cells and all that other stuff, and whatever. And that's what Peter Thiel's into too. Not the adrenochrome part, Peter. I'm just talking about the transhumanism part. So it's not too surprising that those two would be interested in collaborating on some nefarious sounding stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to choose my words wisely. Peter Thiel has a lot of money, and we're a very influential podcast.
That was a unnecessary segue, but also my commitment to bringing up Jeffrey Epstein in every episode. So,
well, that you did it. I'm trying to think how we segue. Were Jeffrey Epstein's employees unionized?
His employees, his underage sex workers, are they unionized? I don't know.
I did see. Go
I was going to say they are going to get together and write their own list, though. That's also in the news.
I was just going to say that I saw something on the news where they said they were going to announce all the people, even if the Congress and others wouldn't. So it's interesting. I don't know why they waited this long.
I know. That was my thought too.
Wait, why? Who waited this long for what?
So the victims are saying they're going to come out and put out the list themselves of the people
Oh.
that they know who were involved, who they know were involved, if Congress, or maybe they didn't say if now, but that they're going to do it. And so I'm just great, but I just don't know, why now.
This is because it's a Democrat hoax. Jeffrey Epstein probably wasn't even real, dude. It's fucking stupid. Talk about this. It's a Democrat hoax. I've been told
Clearly.
by very reliable sources. Do not play into the Democrats' hands. Patriots are in charge. 2 more weeks. The shadow government is alive and well in Mar-a-Lago.
And Hillary Clinton is at Guantanamo.
Lord. I wanted to talk a little bit about Venezuela. And have you guys seen this military strike on Venezuela? And I don't know if this goes hand in hand, but it might go hand in hand with these videos I keep seeing of Judge Janine Pirro walking in like a warehouse, casually like brushing her hands on like I guess tubs of meth that they seized. So anyway, there's US. You guys haven't seen this video? It's really weird. Like it looks like a commercial for something I don't know what, but it's like one of those FBI videos of them like standing around all the sea stuff. But the U.S. military, on Trump's orders, conducted a kinetic strike on a suspected drug boat in international waters near Venezuela, linked to Tren de Agua. 11 individuals were killed during the assault, and Trump said this is a warning to drug traffickers everywhere. And this is a part of a broader campaign against narco-terrorism in Latin America and escalating tensions. Michael, you're very anti-war. How do you feel about this strike? You're anti-war and you're anti-drug war, so...
Very pro-drug.
I should hate it. Right? I don't know that I hate it. I'm trying to figure out if I hate it, but I don't think so. I think if we're targeting actual, like, let's let the real story come out. But if we're targeting actual cartel operations, I don't know that I have a problem with it.
Now,
if we're doing it as a means to overthrow the regime in Venezuela, which we've been trying to do for many decades, then I'm going to be like, I don't know. So but my supposition is that there's more motivation than just trying to stop the drug trafficking. The CIA doesn't really like competition, so I could understand they want to stop the drug trafficking. However, because it's Venezuela, my little spidey senses go off, my little antennas, and I'm like, wait, what else is going on here? Because they've been using sanctions and trying to overthrow that government for many, 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 many years with limited success. And I don't like our military interventionism generally. So with the fact pattern as it is, I'm okay with them taking out drug traffickers, but let's let the facts come out.
Is this maybe this?
Hi everyone, I'm Judge Janine and I am in Houston, Texas.
Oh, this is Houston.
Surrounded by 1,300 barrels of precursors that are being used to make methamphetamines. These precursors were seized as a result of work by my office in Washington, D.C., along with Homeland Security and Customs.
And now we're going to oversee the manufacturing of methamphetamines.
I didn't realize she was a judge. Like until they appointed her as a judge, I didn't realize she was actually like a judge.
Yeah, Judge Janine, former host of the #1 show on cable news, The Five on Fox.
Brad, what am I missing here?
On the blowing it up. I mean, if for me, like, yeah, the drug war is dumb and not successful and big waste of money, and there's better ways to do it. I get it. I understand all that, but I kind of feel like you, Michael. I mean, on principle, I'm not real happy with this sort of thing, but in practice, because we don't live in a perfect world where like libertarian values are reign supreme, I'm okay with the government figuring out how to do this like effectively. Yeah, if they're actually killing people that are bringing in massive amounts of fentanyl and all that shit, killing children in America, yeah, I'm not going to lose sleep over that. If the government's going to do something, I hope they do it well and effectively, and that seems like what happened.
But all of our experience is that's not exactly what's happening. So
I know.
I hesitate and
just
blowing them up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a part of that broader. I can't remember what exactly it was called, but it was the new congressional committee that Dan Crenshaw kind of heads up that's kind of going after narco-terrorism in Latin America. And so this was like an extension of, I guess, an executive order that came from some recommendations in that. I don't take an issue with it, but I do think that like it's a quick slippery slope from like doing this to being like we're gonna go bomb the hills of northern Mexico until we blow up all of these things. And so I mean I don't know. It's
they designated the cartels and Tren de Agua and all those groups as terrorist organizations so that they could use military force against them. And so that makes sense. That's why they did it. But my issue with the drug war, I mean, we could go back to the 90s, the Colombian plan or whatever, when Clinton was just burning half the countryside in Colombia, trying to get rid of the cocaine. And then it just moved to Bolivia. And in the course of it, he displaced millions of farmers who were growing bananas and other things like that. Like that, I'm not down with. But my biggest issue with the drug war is taking users of drugs in the US and putting them in prison for long periods of time. That's, going after the suppliers seems to be what they should be doing if they actually want to get drugs off the street. But then they'd have to go after themselves.
Booyah!
You know something interesting? Do you know it's a very short story, but the story of how in Medellin, like the Comuna 13, that it was a really, really bad part of Medellin where a lot of the narco terrorists lived in the 90s and stuff, how it revitalized after they built these escalators, these massive escalators up into the mountain. And what ended up happening was the people who lived there who were really poor no longer had to rely on like the cartel members and stuff to get stuff up and down the mountain. And so they started these escalators, like brought economic development and all this other stuff too, but like these massive escalators up and down the mountain. And so they would have like people going down, just go to school and coming back, and like people being able to bring like washers and dryers up and all this stuff without having to suddenly rely on them. And it allowed them to kind of generate some economic revenue and revitalize this whole like, very colorful, like beautiful community that is up on the mountain in Medellin.
It sounds like this is an example, and maybe the only example we really need, to prove that mass transit really does work.
Escalators for everyone.
Let's fucking forget these choo-choo trains and let's just build escalators all over Austin. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't personally like escalators, but
what the fuck are you talking about? You don't like escalators?
I mean, I don't personally like escalators.
What does that mean?
What do you like about them?
They're like, so I don't like.
Are you scared?
Huh?
Are you scared?
It's not. I don't like the being on one. Like I don't like being stationary and also going higher in the air at the same time. Like it's.
So do you not like elevators?
If they're enclosed, like you don't see outside of it, sure.
Chairlifts?
I don't like that.
Chairlifts with like, what do you mean chairlift?
Gondolas?
Going skiing.
I don't think I've ever been on a gondola.
Okay.
So the elevator is okay so long as it's not a glass elevator.
I mean, if it's a glass elevator, it's still fine. Like if I have to get on it, I'm going to get on it. But I don't.
What do you like? What do you dislike more, an escalator or an elevator?
Escalator, without a doubt.
That's so. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But all right.
Have you never gotten to like the top of an escalator and feel as though, or if you're at the airport and you're going down and you got luggage and it's so steep and you get on it and it feels like if it just stops, you're going to like fly over?
No, I'm a fully functioning adult with control over my mind and muscles, and my eyes work, and I have senses, and I know when things are going to happen.
Do you know when an escalator is going to randomly stop?
It doesn't randomly stop.
I thought you were going to go, I'm all into fitness, so I use the stairs, and escalators are for lazy people. That's what I thought you were going to say, but okay. I
do that at airports. If I just got off an airplane and I have an option between the stairs and an escalator, I'll take the stairs because I've been sitting the whole time, and it feels good to get the blood pumping.
Yeah, and you're probably also the guy that walks through the airport like this, like dragging the thing.
What are you talking about?
I said you're probably the guy who like charges through the airport with your like rolling backpack too, with your head down.
No, I fucking hate rolling backpacks. That shit's lame. Like, hold your baggage.
I won't take the walking escalator for fitness reasons. I'm like, I think it's pointless.
I take it, but I go the opposite direction for a fitness reason.
Ever the contrarian. All right, next topic. I want to talk about. I don't know if you looked into this one because you haven't said anything about it, Brad. Trump's not going to. Trump might possibly declare a national housing emergency, which would entail we don't actually know, apparently. But it's exploring ways to standardize building and zoning codes, reduce closing costs, streamline permitting, to increase housing supply, Brad's worst nightmare. And he's doing this with housing affordability at a 40-year low. They want to address surging prices and low supply. Consideration of a tariff exemption for key building materials and possible sale of federal property is also on the table. How do you sleep at night?
How is not doing what?
Hearing this.
I mean, I don't understand why anybody would be in support of the federal government deciding the rules and regulations of my neighborhood.
Well, I don't think they're going to decide it.
Okay, go on.
I mean, I don't know. He didn't roll out plans yet, but I don't think they're going to decide it. I think it's going to be similar. I would assume it would be similar to, he put out an executive order, maybe, I don't know, second or third year of his first term with Ben Carson. Well, not with Ben Carson, but with the help of Ben Carson. And the idea was that they were going to incentivize local governments to reduce their burdensome zoning regulations and things like that by kind of dangling the carrot of federal incentives, kind of like how they did it with the homeless thing a couple of weeks ago, where it said, you know, for cities that choose to actually address homelessness, there's going to be all these grants available. For cities that don't, they're no longer going to be available. So it's not forcing unless you're just desperate for the federal money.
He who pays the piper calls the tune, buddy. Well, how do I feel about this? I mean, it's not going to do anything compared to deporting 55 million visa holders. Like, it's a drop in the, like, that's the only way. That's the best way to solve all of these problems, especially the housing problem. There's like 1 million immigrants. Like, I think there's massive amounts of illegal immigrants in Texas, tons of them in Houston. If those illegal immigrants got deported, housing prices would plummet.
By how much?
A lot.
Do tell.
I mean, what do you mean do tell? You think I have some sort of like economic model, like working in my head? I know the exact number of illegals and what's going to happen to every single market in Houston. No, I don't know. But there's hundreds of thousands of them. And if all of a sudden, I don't know, if there's 300,000, 150,000 new housing units become open because of that, that's going to do something to the market, bud.
But how do you know that's going to have a greater impact than unleashing America's next housing wave?
Unleashing America's next housing wave. You sound like you want fucking like Beijing style. You want, no, what you're going to get is fucking 15-minute cities, Beijing style bullshit like that.
Why don't you tell us what 15-minute cities are, since you and so many people are so afraid of them? Tell us what it is. What are you so afraid of?
What do you mean? I'm not afraid of anything. I'm a gun-owning American, buddy. I ain't afraid of nothing. What's a 15-minute city?
Where are you? Well, that too. Feel free, but tell us what you're so afraid of about 15-minute cities and about more housing that would.
Stop it. No one's afraid of more housing.
I think you are.
Here's the thing. I'm going to interject here.
Please.
That both you crazy urbanists and you radical NIMBYs don't. No. Let me back up. That you crazy urbanists and you radical deport everybody. People don't understand. The entire U.S. economy and a whole generation of people's wealth is tied up into home prices continuing to escalate. Mm-hmm. You can't do things like deport 55 million people and cause the entire housing market to tank because we want some people to be able to get into new homes. The result of that would be the stock market going down, hedge funds closing, old people losing their entire life savings. No. God. You remember 2008?
I do.
Yeah. So there's some sense, fiscal sense or financial sense, economic sense in prices maintaining stability and slowly rising over time. And so I don't know that it's actually that great of an idea to do everything we possibly can to bring housing prices down for those reasons.
I don't think building housing to the extent that they're going to be able to through this executive order is going to be significant enough that there's going to be so much new housing on the market in such a short amount of time that you're going to see a steep decrease, as much as you would as his deportation plan. Like, I feel like it's going to be measured we still build slow. Cities are still going to build slow. And the housing isn't going to be. I mean, it might be in central core, urban cores, who knows? But I don't think it's going to come online so fast that you're going to see this plummet in housing costs that's going to eat away at people's wealth like that.
Well, I'm game about decreasing the cost and the regulations to build a house. That doesn't affect what I'm talking about because, well, I guess it would a little bit. But if you're just like decreasing the cost to build, that seems like that would reduce the cost of new housing on the market. But I don't know. I've always see these. I mean, I'm probably more where Charles is from an ideological standpoint, but like from a practical political standpoint, I just don't see it happening. And so Trump making it an emergency, I actually thought that more had to do with him wanting to control interest rates. That was my first take on it. It was like, okay, if it's an emergency, does he have additional powers over the Federal Reserve that he can exercise now that he has declared this emergency to deal with interest rates? Because he really wants those down. But I don't know if his executive order is going to have much impact in terms of overall supply of housing and cost.
Well, one thing I didn't know is if he does do this in his 8 months in office, this will be his 9th national emergency. I didn't realize we had so many so far.
National emergencies.
We've had a lot of them. I know there was homelessness, there was crime last week, there were some others. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, so what is your solution, Brad, or what do you think the solution ought to be for where housing costs are today? Do you think it's fine and the market should just continue the way that it is, or do you, like what is your solution?
No, the market cannot sustain this. It's all propped up by fucking bullshit dollars, and it's just money printing out the wazoo. If you look at the since 2008, since you brought it up, Michael, all the quantitative easing that's happened since then, the line graphs for housing prices and quantitative easing are like perfectly correlated. And the banks get the money first. They get it at its highest value, and they go buy assets and lend out they lend out the money they get it at the highest value, and then it gets disseminated into the economy, and we get it at, a fraction of the value, because then we get it at the end of its cycle. What's the issue? If you want to build new neighborhoods, build new neighborhoods. You want to build a new town, build a new town. Like, that's fine. It makes no sense that anybody other than myself and my neighbors should decide what happens to our neighborhood.
Who's making an argument otherwise?
You are, as an urbanist.
Who's to say that if someone moves into your neighborhood, they are not your neighbor, and therefore then have a claim to make about what that neighborhood is made up of? And two, who is talking about neighborhoods? Like, who knows where this stuff, like, you are assuming it's all going to be built in your neighborhood for whatever reason. Every time we talk about housing, it's like my neighborhood. Who, like, it could be built anywhere.
Okay.
So I don't understand why it always goes back to your neighborhood.
Because that's what I care about. I also don't want to change your neighborhood. I don't want to change Michael's neighborhood. I don't care about those neighborhoods because I don't live there. So if Michael's neighborhood wants to build a fucking apartment complex right next door to Michael's house, that's not my business. Go for it, I guess. I hope I hope Michael's happy with it, but I don't want that in my neighborhood. And the urbanist argument is always that, I would use Austin as an example. We need to do a blanket change of the housing regulations of the zoning so that we can build more housing everywhere, make it just dense all over the place. And I don't want that in my neighborhood didn't want that. And that's one of the reasons why we fucking left Austin.
Who?
What do you mean, who?
Lost Creek.
Oh, you guys.
They disannexed.
90-10. We said, fuck you, Austin.
I mean, that was the only reason you guys disannexed.
That was a major reason, yeah.
I mean, I feel like Austin's got a whole lot of other reasons why you probably
sure, and yeah, all of it's tied in together. But if you want to argue with me with the sentiment of my neighborhood, I'm happy to do that. I think you're going to lose.
I'd love to. Let me go on next door. I'd probably get shouted out of there.
Why would you get shouted out? There are black families on my street.
Charles, what do you think of the national emergency for housing?
I mean, it depends on what the incentives look like. I think what he did they didn't end up doing it, but what he said he was going to do the first term with HUD and kind of incentivizing local governments to streamline the process, make permitting easier, do all that kind of stuff. Good. I think they need an incentive to do so because they're not doing it on their own. If suddenly we build like the United States housing trust and start building houses, like then that's crazy. I don't think we should do that. But if this is true, what they say about selling federal property to also build houses, sure, then why not? Let's do that. So I think it just depends on what the mix is, but I do think it is if you are America first, like Brad claimed last week, you need to talk about this issue. You need to care about this issue because the next generation is not having children, is not growing up, is not moving into the next stage of life because housing is too expensive, at least in part, one of the reasons. Housing is too expensive. And that is not going away anytime soon until, a lot of the older folks.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my point. And I think Brian made that point too, which is it's kind of all built on a house of cards, man. And I agree. I mean, your favorite and one of my favorites, Tucker Carlson, talks about this a lot. You guys are like simpatico, which is like the young generation can't afford homes, and that's a real problem. And I agree. I think it's important to building wealth, but the whole thing is built on this quantitative easing, fake inflation, inflating housing prices. Everybody's wealth is tied up into it. The whole stock market, all these hedge funds, everything's tied into real estate prices continuing to go up forever. And so something's got to give. Like you can't have both.
But what is I feel like it's always, you can always point to it as having been fake. Like it has always been fake. It has always been built on kind of borrowed money and lending here and everything. And but it at one point was more affordable for people to live. So it's like, I don't know, like it being built on a house of cards, I don't think is new. Our deficit that we continue to rank up every day, every year is not new. All this stuff has existed for decades, but the only difference is that it used to be more affordable for people to maintain an average life with an average salary from an average job.
But that's the result of trends in income, trends in housing prices. It didn't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It happened over decades. And so to just kind of unwind that by let's build 50 million new homes tomorrow and prices just tank. They can't do that.
But I don't think that's what anybody's like.
No, I'm not. I was using the extreme.
Oh, okay.
But like to achieve the objective you're talking about, which is bring housing prices down, which I'm like, yeah, we should figure out how to get how young people can buy more get into housing more easily. However, just doing something drastic to bring the whole market down has other consequences because we have a fake economy that's built on inflation over time. And a lot of old people, young families, all their wealth is in their home. And so if you take their value down because you want to get young people into houses, which is commendable, it also has other consequences. And so I don't think there's a simple answer here that's just build more homes. The other side of the equation is we're not talking about income. Mm-hmm. That's people's ability to pay for a home. So income hasn't tracked at the same, or hasn't increased at the same rate that housing has, although productivity has and corporate profits have. Now I sound like a leftist, but let's just look at the data. People's incomes haven't. How do we get people's incomes higher so that they can afford the houses? Anyways, it's just I'm not saying I'm not for it. I'm saying it's complicated. And
I hear you.
Competing factors here.
I hear you. I just think that if you take someone who works, say they're a custodian at like Memorial Hermann, they can't go into a Sears catalog and buy a house out of a box and go buy a plot of land and put it on and build it. They used to be able to do that. The difference is that it's the regulations that local governments assess and the permitting and the property taxes and all of that stuff that makes it just not feasible for them to be able to do it. And also Sears doesn't sell houses out of catalogs anymore. But like that is, and yes, wages did not keep up, but should they keep up with this arbitrary cost that's assessed by local government because they like to just levy regulation after regulation after regulation?
I don't think it's arbitrary though. I think it's, like Brad said, tracking the rate of inflation, quantitative easing. And so you're putting all this new money into the economy, fake money, printed out of thin air. It's causing asset prices to go up, which is housing. And then the money is actually ending up in fewer people's hands. The concentration of the money is ending up in people's hands. So you're creating this divide where people's incomes can't afford the inflated asset prices anymore. And so, yeah, you could build more to let the market tank so that people could afford houses now, but that has consequences.
Yes. When I say arbitrary, I'm talking about the stuff that this emergency order would allegedly address, the local regulations that account for like 25% of a new build cost. Or
28. Yeah.
So that's what I'm not like. If you were to take a 14%, half of that off of the top of it, an average person would probably still be able to buy a home.
Yeah. And grandma would have 10% less equity.
So what, we should have these local regulations because of grandma?
No, I'm just saying it's a complicating factor and therefore nothing's going to happen. But
sell me a home out of a Sears catalog and a plot of land and let me go and live my life. That's it.
Michael, when was the last time that Austin had any sort of major, before all of this Code Next bullshit, when was the last time that Austin had a major overhaul of their land use policy?
1984.
How much more affordable was Austin in 1984?
Probably much more affordable.
So I'm wondering if it's the land use policy that was the problem.
What was the population of Austin in 1984?
Yeah, the demand wasn't as high.
Sure, but yeah, and so there's been a lot of confounding factors, and it's not just about land use policy. If Austin wants to go, if any city, whatever, you want to go build a new neighborhood like they did with the Mueller district and make it as dense as you want, go for it. Just leave the properties that people have already purchased alone.
No one is talking about the properties that people have purchased. You want to deed restriction? All right.
They absolutely are.
Anyway, there's no need to continue down this path because we talk about this all the time. We don't make it anywhere. So as we wrap up,
but it's fun.
As we wrap up, since we're talking about fake stuff, let's talk about cryptocurrency because
oh yeah,
another asset that goes up with inflation.
His sons and associates co-founded the world. Is this the new one? The World Liberty Financial thingy? $5 billion in paper wealth for the family. Oh, talking about what's on paper and not in reality, huh? Is this the new one though? I don't know. This is the one I pulled up. I don't know if this is the newest one, but yeah. So the World Liberty Financial something. I don't know what I stands for, but it's in there. Michael, have you invested?
Institute. I don't know. I just threw out
is it Institute?
No. Did I invest? I don't even know what you're talking about. Did I invest? No.
Oh, okay. Well,
damn it. Did that go up?
Did what go up?
Is it popping off on the charts? Is it getting real valuable?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you even look at what a cryptocurrency costs.
Well, you have to like pretend like it's worth something, and then you have to pay for it.
What's the ticker symbol?
WLFI. It's Trump's family's new cryptocurrency. It's a venture affiliated with them, and it casts a spotlight on the family's growing footprint in the space. So I guess they're not going to turn the internet off anytime soon. The president is exempted from conflict of interest laws because he oversees too many areas, so he's able to do this. Interesting. I don't know that.
World Liberty Financial?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? It's 18 cents on Coinbase.
I was going to buy this like months ago.
Maybe we should all invest.
18 cents is too high.
Okay. The Trump family owns 38% equity in the company that controls World Liberty Financial, is entitled to receive the lion's share of its revenues, according to the website.
Patriots are in control. This is to fund the shadow government.
However, it has tumbled 21% since they started trading on Monday. So, okay. Well, I guess it's not doing too well. But
what is your question about WLFI?
Huh?
What's your question about it?
If you guys were investing.
Oh, no, I thought about it. I remember when it was like first coming out, and I was like, yeah, are the Trumps really behind it?
Came out this week.
No, there was it started a few months ago, and I don't know that it was, I think you could have like bought in early or something like that. You know how this bullshit goes. But I don't think it started like trading on major markets until recently.
Oh, okay. So that must have been it. Okay, interesting. Well, that was it on that one. I don't know why it was in the news this week, but it was in the news. And since no one asked me what my favorite or least favorite bill was at this legislative session, I'll just tell you now as we wrap up this end of the BCM.
How do I end the recording? I clicked this button, right?
And it was SB.
What?
1036. And I'm going to put this is probably close to least favorite, and it's new licensing on solar salespeople. There are now going to be mandatory liability insurance requiring licensing for solar salespeople and heavy fines up to $100,000 for repeat offenders who sell solar without a license. And
This is your least favorite?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about the least, but it's down. It's down there.
I love this.
Okay.
I love it. Get off my property.
And on that note, Stafford, which previously required a city approval to go sell solar sell solar door to door, decided to now ban door to door sales because someone impersonated a solar salesman and robbed someone. So instead of just addressing that, they banned door to door sales in the city because that's what government does. So thank you. Thank you.
Actually, I mean, I think it's probably they were just looking for an excuse to ban them because they fucking suck, and that was just a convenient way to do it.
Well, some of us like freedom and others don't, and that's the end of this episode of BCM. Check you out next week. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Subscribe, comment, share with friends.
Subscribe, comment, share with friends. We've got some hats that we need to give away. I think still maybe a couple. No, okay, no more hats.
All right. Yeah, we got hats.
Oh, we got hats. Okay. Whoever tells us what their favorite or least favorite bill was first gets a hat. All right. See you guys next week.